In today's video, we're going to be tearing apart the SE case. Yes, the wonderful SE case. We're going to be tearing it apart and installing this brand new, awesome hydraulic, well, spring act, no, it's hydraulic, hydraulic laptop stand that's going to be able to sit and stay in the case permanently. What is up, guys? My name is DJ Rick Webb, as always, and in today's video we're going to be diving into the case build part 3. If you guys are unfamiliar with my SZ case, this has been a completely built out SZ case, like custom as it can get. This is going to be the third iteration of it. There's 2 prior videos, and actually the last one I did is probably one of the most viewed videos on this channel. You would think this arm is going to be a very simple install and we're not going to have to do much to the case. That was my intention as well, but after messing around and figuring out how this is going to work, there's a lot of changes that are going to need to be done to the SZ case so that we can install this arm, and actually some modifications to this arm so that it can be done properly. So first, let's look at all the parts on the table behind me and tools that you're gonna need to install this brand new hydraulic swivel arm laptop stand into your controller case, and, well, more importantly, my SZ case. Alright, so just like the case build part 2, on this table right here I've laid out every last tool and part I'm going to need for this build. And also everything that is used in this case build part 3 is going to be listed in the description down below. So if you guys want to do this same modification to your DJ controller, everything you're going to need is listed in the description down below. Now let's show you the stuff. So everything on this side of the table right here, as well as the laptop tray, this all comes in the laptop mount, or the laptop stand mount, that is listed down in the description down below. This whole entire mount unit thing, I believe, costs $70. I will correct myself on the screen if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it costs right around $60 to $70 for everything in here. And you get a lot of different attachments, including like a clamp, so if you wanted to just mount this to, say, your desk, you could do that. But we're going to be mounting it in the case, so we're going to be using this thing right here, which is a hard mount pole that's going to be screwed into the case so that we can slide the arm onto it and then use it. I will be showing you guys how I'm assembling all this, because there is some modifications that had to be done to get this to fit and work in the case the way I want it to. One little side note about the arm that I bought, it is, yes, a cheaper option on Amazon, because Gator makes a similar arm mount that you've probably seen my buddy Arnaldo Hoffman installed it into his case, but Gator has discontinued the model that is meant to hard mount install. All they have left is like the clamp-on model that you clamp onto like a desk or a table. So they don't have the hard mount one, and also it costs a heck of a lot more than this option. And after buying this one, I am honestly, it is really good quality, pretty much mostly all metal. This should work perfectly fine. Now let's get back to all the tools. So the arm mount is basically the majority of the parts. There are a few other things you have to purchase, and that is pretty much screws. You need longer screws to be able to go through the case than what are provided. And for those, you're going to need 1/4 inch. Well, in a shocking discovery, the bolts I bought, which are 1/4 inch 28, are not correct. They're actually metric 6, so M6 metric bolts. I have 1 inch here. Also bought some washers to place on the outside of the case, so that way these bolts don't pull through. Now I have another surge protector right here, and this is the identical one that's already in the case, and the reason for that is we have to relocate the surge protector that's already in the case, and to do that I need a longer cord to hook up to the power con port on the outside of the case. So I bought another one, so that way I had to have more cord to work with to install. Really cheap. It's also going to be listed down in the description down below. Because we're doing that, I need a brand new wire stripper this time around than using those cheap ones that I was using last time. Also going to need some electrical tape and that's pretty much going to handle installing this new power strip with the same power con connector that's already in the case. You're going to need some small Phillips screwdrivers. I recommend you get yourself an eyeglass one, and this is going to be to take apart the plastic shroud that's on the outer edge of the arm. That's what we're going to be using it for. Also have a drill, so that way we can actually drill through and put holes in the case so that we can actually bolt that to the case. To drill through the case, we're going to be using a drill bit, and we're going to be using specifically a 1/4-inch drill bit to do that. And then also, depending on what head you buy for your bolts, mine are hex bolts, as you can see. You're going to need whatever it takes to bolt down, to tighten down your bolts. So I got a crescent wrench here to tighten down those bolts when we get to that step. You might need a Phillips screwdriver, you might need a straight screwdriver, you might need an Allen key. So depending on what you're doing, you might need that. That's all the parts. That's all of the tools that we're going to be using. I think if I add anything as I move on through this case build, I will show you. So now I already kind of started to tear apart the SZ case when I was mocking this up to make sure this would work, so that way I wasn't filming a pointless video. Let me give you guys an aerial view of the SZ case, and I will take it apart to show you guys what all has been done in the past if you guys haven't seen the previous videos, and also kind of lay the groundwork for what we're going to be doing this time around. Okay. You obviously cannot see my head. This is the SZ case. First things first, let's get the SZ out of the way so we can see the guts and see the cool stuff that's going on underneath. Now, I've already unplugged everything from the SZ. There was a lot of stuff plugged in. The microphones were plugged in, the XLRs were plugged in for the DV extract, the power, etc., etc. So we're gonna pop this out, and it is Velcroed down. We did in the past, we put Velcro on all 4 corners of the SZ, and those Velcro points are right here in all 4 corners. Now, as you guys can see, it kinda is a mess right now. Quick overview right here. This is the DVX drive rack. These are the XLRs that connect into the back of the SZ. They go to the drive rack. The drive rack has 6 outputs. These outputs feed down along through here to our external XLR ports. All 6 of them are on the back of the SZ. Like I said, this is all detailed and broke down and installed and shown you how to install in the case build part 2. Right here, the other box is our GTD audio wireless microphones unit. This will be getting upgraded probably in the next coming months. Right here we got a wad of cables, and these are all plugs that are supposed to plug into the power strip, which is over here, like I said. And like I said, it's completely torn off and torn apart, because we need to install a long one, but I'll get that in a second. Right here is the microphone plug-in that goes in the back of the SZ. This is the Netgear router. This is what allows me to connect the iPad to the DVX drive rack for wireless control. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here, and it's pretty much a mess right now. It was nice and clean until I started messing around with it. So what needs to change in all this so that I can have my laptop mount inside of the case? Let me get the mount. So we have the arm portion, and then we have the mount. The mount is going to be mounted right here. Well, I can't even get it in here. It's going to be mounted right here at the back of the case. Due to that, this originally sat right here. So because this is now there, we can no longer have this right here. So we have to relocate it to right here in front of the wireless microphone rack. Now, the arm itself, this end right here will slide down over the mount. This gets bolted into the actual case, and then this arm is allowed to sit on here, and you can rotate the arm out, etc. Right here's a little bit of a closer up view. This is going to be mounted in here, and the arm can pivot out. Basically, at the gig, you open it up, you twist this out, and then this base plate right here, there's 2 little screws that go right in there, and you basically just pop this on here. There's actually 2 little latches that allow it to latch on there. So then it latches on there, and then you use 2 little thumb screws to screw it on, and then you have a laptop stand, obviously, that twists up and over, and you get the idea. But the awesome part, this actually, when the SZ is in here, there's enough room in the top of the case that I can set this with some foam padding on top of the SZ, shut the case, and everything fits in here. From now on, my whole entire laptop stand system is going to be inside of the SZ case. So let me break down the whole entire install and how this is going to work. First thing I'm going to be doing is showing you guys what I've done to the actual arm itself to modify it to make it work properly. I'll explain at the very end of the video why and how those modifications make it work. But for now, I'm going to show you guys what the modifications are that I did. It's pretty simple. Then the second part, which I'm probably just going to time lapse, is going to be figuring out where exactly in the case this is going to be mounted, so that way I can mark my holes. Once those are marked, I'm going to drill the holes, and then I'm going to screw down this into the case. Once that is complete, the arm can be fully installed and ready to go. We'll test it out, make sure it does what I intended to do. And then we'll move on to the last step, which is actually like basically a flashback to the case build part 2, where I'm going to wire up the new power strip and get all the power cords situated in the case so it looks clean, it's nice and organized, even though no one's ever gonna see the bottom inners of my case. Now let's dive into what was done to the arm to make it work the way I want it to work. Okay, so starting at the bottom of the arm, we have the mount. This is the mount you're going to be using. What you're going to need is this little steel spacer though. This steel spacer slides in here, so that way the whole entire bottom of this is flush when you actually screw it into the case. That way it doesn't try and pull any of the wood through. There's a nice flush surface for it to mount up against. And right there are those 3 threaded holes on the bottom. What goes onto this part is pretty simple. It is the arm. The arm slides down onto it very simply. There is a little fastener right here that they include an Allen key to loosen, because when it first came out of the box, this did not slide down on here at all. It was too tight. So you can undo, or you can unscrew this fastener right here. Will basically allow you to put this on here and pivot it properly. So there were basically 3 mods I had to do to this to make it work the way I'm gonna need it to work. First thing is these 2 plastic pieces right here need to come off. And that is because this head, for it to be able to pivot where I need it to be, would hit this actual top of the plastic piece. And my options basically are to cut this plastic piece down some, or just completely take it off, which is the route I took. So to do that, you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. There are 2 screws on the bottom holding the bottom piece on, and you can take the bottom shroud off. And then inside of here, there are 4 screws. There's 2 screws below and 2 screws on top, and that'll allow you to take this top plastic piece off. Now, once I took it off, the arm itself doesn't look bad at all. I'm not gonna have any problem with not having the plastic on it. Honestly, I think it looks more industrial, and I think it looks better, honestly, without the shroud. Now, the third and final modification here is to lower the tension on this hydraulic. So, basically, once you set a laptop on it, you need to set the hydraulic pressure. There's a hydraulic arm inside of here, which allows this to compress down and back. So when you put a laptop on here of a certain weight and you set the hydraulic right, you'll be able to like basically put your laptop all the way down. It'll sit right there. You can push it up a little bit, it'll sit there, or you can put it all the way up. And I will demo that at the end of the video, basically to show you guys how that works. It's pretty slick. But to adjust the tension, there is a cover right here. You pull this cover off, and then there's a little Allen bolt in here that you can twist, and they have directions on the top of this little plastic cap to tell you which way you need to turn it for more or less tension. In my case, my laptop does not weigh a lot. Well, my new laptop, which you guys will see a sneak peek of in this video, but my new laptop is really light, so I lowered this all the way down to the lowest hydraulic tension. I don't know what you want to call it. Arm itself though, once you mount it in here at your mounting point right here, you can pivot this upper part of the arm around 360 degrees. Then this articulating head can go 180 back and forth, and then it also can pivot down and up 180 degrees. So you're gonna take the included laptop tray, which is completely metal, by the way. There are slide mounts on there, like I said, that you can slide this down onto, and it will lock on here, if I can get it right, first time. It'll lock onto here. But for a more secure option, there are 2 holes below there, as you guys can see on the camera, right here and right here. And you can actually bolt this down with, there's 2 thumb screws included in the kit that screw into the bottom of this to make this secure. In terms of setting a laptop on that, there's 2 feet here on the bottom to hold it on. If those 2 feet are not enough for you, they also include these side clamps. There's 1 for each side, and these basically go in here and they bolt up in through here. At this point in the video, it's probably been quite a bit of time now, and all I've basically done is describe what I'm going to be doing. So now, let's actually get some stuff done, and I'm gonna measure out and figure out where the holes need to be for this mount right here inside the case. I have marked where I want it to be at. Basically, when I got the arm where I wanted it at inside the case, as you guys can see, I went ahead and I traced it. I traced it all the way around so I had an outer trace. Now to get those inner dots, the nice part about it is this plate right here. I can barely do this one-handed. So this plate will slide in, and this plate will be used when we're installing it, so that all the holes match up when it's up against there. So what I did was I placed that plate down, made sure it was up against it, and because this plate can slide out this way, what I did was I pushed it back further than the actual marking, and then I pushed this up until I was aligned with my outer markings. Then all I had to do was carefully lift up on it, and then I could mark where my holes need to be. As you guys can see, I just basically triple checked that my holes are in the correct location. So now these are the 3 holes we got to drill out with the 1/4" drill bit. And this is by far probably the easiest part for me, but because I've already drilled holes in this, so I'm familiar with drilling through this. But for you guys that are, maybe this is your first time drilling into your case, and you're probably really nervous because you don't want to mess it up because this case costs a decent chunk of money. Basically, when you're drilling, and you guys will see me, you just want to barely tap the drill as you're starting to go through the actual material. Go very gently and don't forcefully drill through it. Don't push with a lot of force, just barely drill through it, and you guys will see me do that in this next step right now. The holes are drilled. Just a little pro tip for you guys. I was aware of this. I'm not an idiot. You're an idiot! Don't drill where you also have a table and then accidentally drill a hole into your table. You're an idiot! Anyways, we have the holes drilled out. And if we take the plate, the holes match up perfectly like they should. So now we can move on to the next step, which is bolting up this to the case. I should have just originally taken everything out of the case completely, but you know, I was stupid and didn't think that I would need to take it all out. But because we're going to be tilting this case up on its side to bolt this down, I really need to take everything out of it so things don't go flying. Then we can test the arm out. This is going way quicker than I expected. No way. There's no way these are the wrong size bolts. These are the wrong size f***ing bolts. These are the wrong size f***ing bolts. There's no f***ing way. Well, in a shocking discovery, the bolts I bought, which are 1/4" 28, are not correct. They're actually metric 6, so M6 metric bolts. Moral of the story, I f***ed up, bought the wrong screws this morning, so went back out, got the right ones. Now we can continue the build, back to the regularly scheduled build. Alright, so with the arm mount locked in place now, I'm going to go ahead and actually like put everything back into the case, and then I will show you guys how the arm works. That's pretty much it. The arm is in here, I kind of like where this stands right now. So to put the laptop stand portion on, like I said, I can either just slide it on like so, but it can fall off the back way. So what I'm going to do now is use the two included screws right here and actually bolt this in and kind of show you guys how it works. And as you guys probably noticed, that took literally no time at all to get that on there. Now, as you guys can see, the laptop mount right here is basically in, and it can go literally 360 degrees around in a circle, and then this mount on the very end can also swivel all the way around, like I said, can go all the way down, up, but literally I can position it wherever I want. And also, I forgot to mention that the head on here also will spin 360. So there's a lot of adjustments you can literally do to get this where you want it. And right about there looks to be pretty much where I want it to be at. I'm gonna grab my laptop real quick, which is actually right here. And that's our laptop mount. Now, like I said, you can literally adjust this down and it sits there. So it'll literally stay at any little position you want. So you can literally go all the way down, let it sit there, let it go a little bit up, let it go a little more, let it go all the way up. You can literally adjust this to right where you want it. So, because if you want it to be right there, or if you want it to be all the way up, you want it a little bit in between, you can do whatever you want. It's awesome. I'm not in frame, but that's literally, you can adjust it however you want. Now, like I said, when you take it off, it's hydraulic, it's spring loaded. So the laptop weight has to be just right so that it'll sit wherever it wants. This is awesome. Okay, so the arm is cool and everything, but let me show you how it breaks down. So first thing you have to do is unscrew the top. And like I said, these are thumb screws, which is pretty nice. They're actually textured with a grip so that you can actually take them off with your fingers. So this will come off like so. This will get placed right here with foam padding so that it doesn't damage the SZ. This arm now will twist back and around. I will pivot the head in like so, and then it will slide down in here, just like that. And then when I put the case on it, it'll hold it down. I'm thinking about installing a little band in here so that I can actually keep this thing compressed because it wants to pop up. So, but once the case lid's on there, it will stay there. So now that it's together, I can kind of explain why here. Why here? Why did I mount it here? Okay, first off, we gotta look at where the GTD audio rack is. This thing takes up all the space and I need room for this antenna to come up. So I brought it as close to this as possible. And it just so happens that the mount has a little bit of a curve in it that the antenna fits perfectly around. That's one reason. Two, I got all these ports I need to use. I need to use those line RCAs and I need to use this mic input right here. It's literally as close as I can get to right here in between these two, because right here is a terminal for turntables that I probably will never use. Now there is a gap here between the edge of the arm, so I could have brought it over further, but the reason for that is when this pivots all the way around and we have the laptop mounted out here, I didn't want my laptop to be sticking out too far. So it actually works out perfectly so that my laptop sits right above this corner of the SZ and the edge of the laptop comes right about here, and it's not interfering with any of the buttons that I need. So basically this placement worked out perfectly amazing. One other note, I had to make sure that this was back far enough so that when this arm pivots in and we collapse it down, there had to be enough gap so that the arm could actually go down beside this. And actually a nice little addition here, because the thumb screws, there's not really anywhere to put them and I don't want to lose them. I have this nice little magnetic tray here. So if you guys want to pick these up, they're like $1. They'll be listed down in the description below as well. And this handle right here on the front of this is magnetic. And it just so happens that when you put it on the inside, it sticks and stays there. And it's actually pretty dang secure. Alright, now I'm going to take the SZ back out and basically figure out my wiring, run all my wires to where they need to be, and we will set up the new power strip, then we'll cut it, wire it up, and we'll be done.
2,000 years later.
It's about as clean as it's gonna get. So yeah, these two cables are gonna plug into the back of the SZ. This mic cable is gonna plug in the back of the SZ. and this is the power cable that'll plug into the back of the SZ. I'm deciding on this one, so everything is wired up properly here. All the power, tried to like bundle the cables together here. This is the new laptop cable charger, which is way too long, so I'm going to have to eventually tuck some of that in. I decided on this one though that I'm going to run some of the slack of the power cable, or the power strip, back into here, into this little channel that runs underneath the SZ. That way if I ever need more in the future, I don't have to go buy a brand new one because I cut it too short. So now we're going to unscrew the SZ, or the PowerCon plug here, not the SZ plug, the PowerCon plug. Pull this wire through, cut it, strip it, put our connectors on it, and we should be good to go and power it up. Everything will be done then. Alright, as you can see there, I crimped on all the ends to the cable so that way we can slide them on to our PowerCon connector on the back end here. And that right there is all there is to the PowerCon connector. All I have to do now is I'm going to wrap some electrical tape around this so that's a nice clean look. Slide this into the hole right here, screw it back in, and we are all set and ready to go to plug this back in and get the whole entire case ready to go. And that right there is all set and ready to go. Slide it back in. And ladies and gentlemen, the setup is complete. Like I said, if you guys are wondering, that is my new laptop. There's a whole video coming out on this laptop, why I bought it, why it's not a Mac, why it's a PC. It's getting a little more chaotic, definitely behind or underneath here. There still is room that I can flip up my antennas. This one is a little more challenging to get up, but it still will make it up for the GTD audio rack down below there. But everything is up and running. The DBX drive rack's up and running. That's it. This is it. Case build part 3 complete. Like I said, everything that you need to do this to your own case, to your own whatever you want to put this in, is listed down in the description down below. Well, if you enjoyed the case build part 3, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button. That way you can be notified of when all the new videos are at. Actually, if you want notified and you want quicker notifications, be sure to turn on that bell. I haven't called out about the bell in a while, but be sure to hit that bell. DJ Life Clothing, if you want to pick up a piece of DJ Life clothing like this one right here that says I hate teardown, be sure to click that link right there. That'll take you to the DJ Life Clothing shop where you can check out all the t-shirts, the stickers, and all that. There is worldwide shipping to over 103 countries. Cheap shipping, it's not that expensive, and if you spend over $75 right now, it's free shipping worldwide. After that quick self-promo merch plug, lastly, I'd like to say, guys, this case build's awesome. I enjoy doing these case builds. I hope you guys enjoy seeing these case builds. Everything's awesome. I love every single one of you guys. You guys are awesome. Keep grinding, all that fun work stuff. And my name is DJ Rick Webb. Keep the record spinning, guys, and I will see you guys next time with an amazing, awesome, exciting, cool video. Peace.